So today we're going to talk about some front-end stuff, and by front-end I mean some content stuff, like super valuable, again, for any creator out there who's struggling and you're again stuck between 3 to 10,000 per month, euros or dollars, doesn't really matter as long as this video is for you, right? So we're going to talk about the content triangle, and it's something that I came up with. I mean, not really. I think surely somebody has come up with it before me. I'm not like the Rolling person, but it just makes everything much more easier, and it just puts everything into a very good perspective and makes you understand exactly what you need to do in your content, right? And I mean, look, content isn't just, getting likes and getting viral and everything like that. You should know by now that your content is your marketing. And as Hormoz said, your offer is only as good as the way it's being sold, right? So what I mean by that is your marketing actually sells your offer. So your marketing should do pretty much 80% of the sale, right? It should do 80% of the selling the offer, and your call or whatever you're doing, the way you're converting, should only do the other 20. And I mean, a lot of creative people actually yap about that, but that's the truth, right? Hormoz is a pretty smart guy. He recently, made 110 million from a webinar launch, which is crazy, absolutely crazy amount. This guy, he knows what he's talking about. So that's why I'm kind of quoting him. And let's move into this video. And before we actually get into the video, I want to talk about, of course, some limiting beliefs that a lot of creators experience in the space. And again, every corner here on this triangle makes so much sense, and it's going to connect. Everything is going to connect, everything is going to make sense. And the catch is that a lot of creators, they're like stuck at 3 to 10,000 per month because they know that they should actually make more content and better content. But the problem is the consistency, right? They need to keep it consistent while also running a business. And when I mean a business, I mean running other chains like service delivery, backend stuff, right? Everything, lead flow. It all takes so much effort to run. And content is, again, it's how you actually keep that engine alive. If you don't post content, everything is going to die. And the problem is that all these creators, and you're probably in this if you're listening to this, you are thinking like a freelancer. Like your mindset around your business is like you're thinking like you're going to do everything yourself. And that's one of the biggest problems, right? That's what I'm trying to overcome on this channel with my content, is that you need to start thinking like a CEO. You need to start actually spending your time with more value. You need to start thinking of your time as something super valuable. And you need to start investing your time and your resources into crafting a backend, right? A backend system that actually increases your lifetime value of each customer that you get. But I don't want to get into that. I want to get into something else. So because you think as a freelancer, you don't think as hiring or investing into people as, an investment and an ROI. You think of it as like an expense, right? Something that will cost you money at the end of the day. And you think that you can save money by doing everything yourself, which is honestly, I kind of respect that, right? It's not only because you're trying to, save money, it's also your ego. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can do this, which I'm actually like that as well sometimes. I try to prove myself, but at the end of the day, you need to realize that if you want to go to the next level, you need to invest into the people, you need to hire the people or the systems, buy the systems that will actually help you scale there faster. Time, right? Time is the most valuable asset we get. And I'm not trying to get philosophical and stuff. We're all going to die eventually, right? Time is super valuable. The more time you waste on something, the more time you're like all this time that you're wasting, you could actually spend it on something else that is going to move your business, all right? Going to move the needle. So, right. So, before that, I mean, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to mention in the start of the video. Basically, just trying to crack your limiting beliefs. And now let's go into the content triangle. I honestly love this. This is my content triangle. Like, this is how I create content. And basically every piece of your content should have all of these three pillars: logic, identity, and desire. So logic is why you and why this approach. So basically, this is all about selling your mechanism, your system. Identity is who they must become and what they must do. Identity is a very tricky one, and I kind of like identity. Is probably one of my favorite things on here. Is a lot of people, they try to sell the system, right? Not the system, like the technicalities, the technical stuff, like the tips, the systems, the SOPs, right? But when you think about that, actually, I'm going to mention it like down there, right? The line is so, and desire is the last one, which is what's possible, what they want deeply. So it's, it's not about money. It's not about getting healthy, getting fit. It's something much more than that, right? You need to talk about that in your content, the deep desires. So let's start with logic, right? So logic is, you basically need to give your audience the reasoning that basically reshapes how they see their problem. You need to break their limiting beliefs, their false beliefs, reframe the problem that they experience, position your approach as the obvious solution and the next natural step they need to take. And if you don't shift how they think, they will never actually see why they need you. Right? This makes so much sense. Through your content, you need to talk to them on a level that basically connects with them, right? Resonates with them. It shifts their limiting beliefs. So, for example, if you're a fitness coach, one thing that you can basically talk about all day, right? This is your one thing. This is your mechanism, or polarizing, or call it whatever you want, is losing weight isn't about eating less. It's about fixing your metabolism, right? This is the idea that you're selling. This is the mechanism that you're selling. So you need to keep repeating it. In each content that you post, you need to kind of somehow remind them of this. Or if you're a mindset coach, for example, your lack of discipline isn't laziness, it's untrained identity. You're selling the system, right? Every piece of content you output is something that has to do with this, right? You remind them that your lack of discipline isn't laziness, it's that thing, right? Selling your mechanism, your polarizing thing that nobody else is doing. And my one thing is, traffic won't fix you, your backend will, right? If you have a good backend, you can potentially double each customer you get, without, of course, increasing your lead flow, which is crazy. Crazy stuff. Now we're moving on to the second one, which is identity, right? Identity, who they must become and what they must do. This is my favorite one, as mentioned. And so you basically need to show them the decision that they must take to get unstuck. This actually is the content that makes you stand from the rest of the crowd, right? That's the type of content that makes you kind of realize, or your audience realize, that you're kind of unique because you talk about stuff other people don't. And when you mean identity, like, they don't really know what identity is, right? They don't know what is to change identity. They don't know what is to, I mean, they know, right? For example, when I said to you, you need to stop thinking as a freelancer and start thinking as a CEO. Value your time more. Time is money, right? Try to invest in people. This is what I meant. Right now, you're probably thinking as a freelancer. This is your current identity. You need to get outside of your comfort zone. You need to realize that you need to start thinking like a CEO. And what a CEO does, he invests into the right people. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Alex Hormozzi, right? All of them. They all invested, built teams, hired the right people, leverage systems, processes, and that's how they reach their level. So you basically need to turn their problem from tactical to something that kind of connects to their identity. Make them realize their bottleneck is not lack of tactics, but lack of investment, belief, or decision making, right? This builds conviction that done for you, do it for yourself, is going to keep them stuck. But if they're going to invest, it creates freedom. For example, if you're a fitness coach, if you think a meal plan is your solution, you will stay stuck. The shift is learning how to eat like an athlete. Again, we have an identity shift here. An athlete, right? Right now, they're not an athlete. Once they actually learn how to be one, they're going to learn how to eat like one. For a mindset coach, if you treat growth like a hobby, you will never build a new identity. You need to act like the future self you want to become. I mean, everybody actually repeats that now that I think about it. And business coach, scaling isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about investing in people and systems that multiply you. So yeah, now the last one, which is desire. So this has to do with researching. So you need to actually know your ICP inside out. So you can definitely, so you can actually talk to them and they can actually resonate with you and connect to you. So yeah, that does require a bit of digging into your ICP. But once you actually find what's their deep desires, like freedom or looking better, whatever it is, right? Once you find out, you will actually will leverage. So you paint the dream outcome that makes the struggle worth it. So they can see the ROI. Because when somebody sees the ROI and they see that it's pretty achievable, they will do anything to do that, to get there, right? Even if that's somebody who's trying to escape a pain or somebody who's trying to go from a normal situation to their desired situation, right? For example, pain, escaping from pain is basically somebody who is obese, who's struggling with obesity. He's just trying to get a normal body, right? He's just trying to lose a couple of pounds and try to look normal. Someone who's chasing the desire is somebody who has a normal body and is trying to get, jacked, go to the gym. So you need to find out who's your ICP, right? Is he escaping the pain or is he trying to go to the desired situation? I know my ICP is trying to escape his pain. He's stuck 3 to 10,000 months. Every month is starting from zero. You sit there and you think, oh, new month, I need to start posting content. Like, you don't have backend, and that's what is keeping you stuck. Like, once you actually install a good backend, and when I mean backend, I mean trying to leverage each customer that you get in and just increase the lifetime value. Right? That's what I mean by backend. So yeah, no, look, you need to anchor the logical and identity shifts to something that they crave emotion. Most people, like 80% of people, buy an emotion, 20% justify with logic, and something like that. I don't know. Logic convinces the mind, but desire drives action. So again, if you're a fitness coach, imagine being lean year round, eating what you love, and never stressing about the food again. So again, you talk about like their desire, which is, eating the food you love, never stressing about food again. And again, everything has to do with desire, like being lean year round, eating what you love, and never stressing about food again. Mindset coach. Imagine waking up to total clarity, knowing exactly who you are and where you're going. Man, I would actually buy that one. I really want to know, because this has actually sold me. And business coach, right? Imagine striping weekly, even when you take the weekend off or on a vacation. This is again something that speaks to a desired situation. And now, how do you build your own content triangle? So first of all, as I told you earlier, start with your ICP. Who do you serve? What are they stuck on? You should know that by now because again, you have something that people buy, so you do have a proven offer. Because again, if you didn't have a proven offer, you would be stuck at zero. You wouldn't be making 3 to 10,000 per month. You would be making zero. So go deeper into your ICP. Define the doctrine, right? Logic's corner. What false belief do you actually smash? What truth do you repeat until it's their new religion? Basically, you need to brainwash them. That's what I'm telling to you. You need to start brainwashing your ICP, your audience. Define the shift. So basically the identity. What decision, investment, or mindset change must they take to actually grow? And then, so yeah, ladies and gents, this is it. Again, if you want me to review your funnel for free and just, run some checks, see if something is not working, tell you what exactly needs to be worked on, you can DM me on Instagram and I will gladly make a free loan for you, basically breaking down your whole funnel from bottom to top, from top to bottom. So yeah, and remember, more traffic won't fix your funnel. If you're stuck at 3k to 10,000 per month and you don't really have any backend offers or systems or something to just increase or double and triple each customer you get, Like, that's the first thing you need to do. Like, just hire people. Just look into hiring people who are going to help you with doing that. And once you do that, once you figure out your backend, that's when you can start increasing your lead flow. And guess what? Because you already can double and triple each customer you get. If you just increase your lead flow, you're just going to blow up completely, right? So focus on your backend. That's the first thing you gotta do. And everything will come naturally next. So yeah.